So 2-1 defeat away to Alvechurch today. What did you make of the performance from the lads?
Probably the poorest we've been in a long time. After the positives of getting to a standing and getting to a level and being able to compete over probably the last 2 months, you say? Last month, sorry. Everything went out the window today. It was probably the single worst defensive performance I've ever seen. We didn't deserve a point from the game. We were given a lifeline just before half time, which we didn't deserve. And that's what we said at half time. As poor as you've been, you don't get many lifelines in football, and they've given us one. So let's shake ourselves off. And the one thing I personally asked before the game and at half time is for us to go and impose ourselves on them, because they play a style of football. They play nice football. Everyone's available for the ball. You have to go and impose yourself. And if we would have done that, the game would have been completely different. I personally don't think we laid a glove on them today. And that's okay for me and Lou to go and sit here and take that on the chin for ourselves. But as a group of players, they knew they didn't. And it's not like anyone's thought any different in there. So we'll take that on us as a management team, but the players will take that as a group of players. Certain things we tried today maybe didn't come off, but that wasn't from people not being in the right areas. Like I said, we just didn't lay a glove on them. We didn't impose our style, didn't impose any physicality on them. And today we were the second best team, and we got what we deserved from the game. So I think, as you can tell, my thoughts of the game are we got what we deserved, and that was no point.
Yeah, you mentioned that you wanted to have an imposing performance. That you could say that you had an imposing performance on Monday in the first half. Why do you think there was such a stark difference in today's match?
We just never got going, and we never did the stuff that served us so well in the last month, and that's the simple thing of it. We didn't. Our second ball was in the hot all across the pitch today was just non-existent. And first and foremost, especially away from home, anywhere, you have to first earn the right to play. You have to earn the right, and we didn't. And we allowed them to get on top, and we knew what to expect from them. We knew that we'd be a young, vibrant group and that they'll work areas, but we also knew that we could hurt them. And even if the people that was here in the first half could see, once it kind of changed hands, we could have been very dangerous, but we just never really got going. And as a collective group, the players, myself and Brad, we have to take that on the chin today. We have to look at it, because there was so many areas that we was miles off it. And like we said in the past, we'll always back this group of players. We'll always back this team, and we'll try and our best to give them everything that they need. But as a group, as a whole group, it just wasn't there today. It just wasn't there today. And listen, and that can happen. And that was the big thing after the game. From myself to the players was, you can have an off day in terms of on the ball, in terms of things not going your way, but what upset me today was some of the body language, especially in the second half, like we're giving up, and that's what you can't do. You can't. You're in control of that. Sometimes you can't control how you are going to be on the ball, or stuff not going your way. You get a bit of unlucky, but what you can control is your application, your appetite to want to be on that pitch and to give the best for yourself, and far too many of us today was miles off that.
Yeah. I think we saw a glimpse of attacking threat towards the end. Do you think that just came a little bit too late?
Well, we saw a glimpse of it in probably the first 3 or 4 minutes of the game as well. But it's the same old story at the moment. We're getting in some decent areas, and as soon as we hit the final third, we're just not making the right decisions. And it's okay seeing it at the start of the game and the finish of the game, but the meat of the game, where you gain all control, you need to score when you're on top, okay? But we can't say we was on top after 3 or 4 minutes, because the next 3 or 4 minutes they battered us. Then after that, it evened out a touch, but they were the better side. So for myself, yes, it's nice to see us getting in them areas, but we still need to be doing so much more. Just said to them after, ruthlessness is a key word of what we've asked for, and when we're in that final third, ruthlessness is everything we need. In the last 2.5 weeks, if we were ruthless, we'd be out of the relegation spots, we'd be on a different set of form, And this game, if you have an off day, okay, probably keeps you just outside the relegation or the final spot are there, but we've won 2 of them games and we've got decent points on the board. We haven't. And when you come away and you have an off day, now it really matters. So we are in a massive relegation dogfight, regardless of how many games there are to go. There are plenty of games to go, so if you get on a run, of course you can get out of things, and we believe we still can. But being ruthless in the top end of the pitch gets you them 3 points and gets you the point when you maybe not deserve one, or just gets you out of trouble. And the trouble that we're currently in, which is fine, it's expected. The club is expected to not be competing at this level, but we expect to compete at this level. That ruthlessness already after this game, if we have an off day, we turn around and go, no problem, it's an off day. We're still not happy with what's happened today, but it is as simple as that. In that top end, if we are more ruthless, if we were ruthless today, we would have got more from the game, but we didn't deserve it. So that's my whole point. You, in that top end of the pitch, you finish off your chances, you get shots off. On a day where you might not deserve something, you get a point, but you're still not happy with the performance. Instead, we're not finishing off chances, we're not getting enough shots off, and as it stands at the moment, we are where we are and the table doesn't lie. So it's okay getting in the areas, but we need to be way more efficient in the top end of the pitch. So it's nice to see areas, but it's really disappointing for us at the moment as to what we're doing in terms of converting any areas into chances, into shots, into goals.
We saw Tom Hewlett make his debut in the second half at top. He probably didn't have enough of the ball to really show what he's about. What can you tell us about him?
Yeah, Tom definitely gave us a different look. He gave us the opportunity to go as a 2 with Tyson. I think at times it gave us a different threat that we've been having. Listen, he's just come to the building and he's gonna help the group. But in terms of his performance and his contribution today, first and foremost, with all the subs, Tom, Jack, Lucian, the massive difference was their application and their desire to come on and try and affect the game, and that was what I've just said in there. As a group, we can't be sitting there, we can't be standing on the pitch, substitutes coming on, and they're giving a different desire than the rest of the players on the pitch, and that's got to be something coming from within, where you don't let that standard be there. But he will help the group. And listen, what we have to do, we have to understand where we are, we have to understand the situation, and we're in that situation, and we've got to take it. We've got to puff our chest out, and we've got to continue to keep working. What we can't do now, we can't shrink, we can't feel sorry for ourselves. Right, we've got a great opportunity. Even today, fans, they come, brilliant from them. We're coming off the pitch, they're clapping us, and that's these players have got to understand that playing for a really good football club across the board, that there's so many people trying to give you everything, to give you the best opportunity to perform on the pitch, and that's when sometimes we as a whole group in there, we need to take accountability and understand that so many people are trying to help us and give us that from that side. We need to now stop doing the business on there. And that's why we have to stand up and be accountable. We can't feel sorry for ourselves, because this is the situation, this is why we're footballers, this is why we're involved, and yet there's pressure on, but that's football. There'll always be pressure, but now we've got to come out of it, stand up tall, work hard next week, and get ready for Stourbridge.
Like you mentioned, that Stourbridge next week in the FA Trophy. Moving from the league to the FA Trophy competition, how does that affect your plans? How do you view that match?
It always affects plans, but we go into every game wanting to win it. So we could be playing Man City in the final. Like, it doesn't matter. We would try and win a game of football, and that's not naive. You set up your best opportunity to give yourself a positive result in any game of football. So it gives us an opportunity to have a different look at certain aspects and certain areas. But that is not to make us any weaker. That is to make us have a look at players that play in their areas and actually give us a different look without points being up for grabs. However, the team that will be put out on the pitch is one designed to actually go and do the job on Stourbridge. Difference is, when we last played them, we played very well in the first half against them. We were 1-0 up, dubious penalty to make it 1-1 that sucked all the life out of us. But we're a different outfit from when they played us at there. They're a very similar outfit. We're obviously changing week by week at the moment, and hopefully for the better. Obviously, we'll count today as a big off day. So we'll go into that game thoroughly trying to win it. but the team out on the pitch will certainly give absolutely everything to try and get us through to the next round of the trophy, and that is a fact.
And having already played them, like you said, does that make it a little bit more interesting for the lads? Do you think they'll want to, show what they're about?
Yeah, listen, I think that the first time around, for the first half, just prior to the penalty, I think we gave a really good account of ourselves, and it was maybe the start of us as a group turning the corner. So it's just a test now to see where we are, to see how much we've progressed. Because it's all right as saying that we feel like we've progressed, and the results in the league haven't really matched the progression in terms of what we see on the pitch. But now it's a big test. It's a big test to go against a good team in this league, and we've had a bit of time in between. They will understand that we are a different team than when we played them before, and it's a great opportunity for us all to go and get a positive result back at home. And what we have to do, we have to react from this. So we have to react and make sure that this is a one-off, especially, like I said before, in terms of application and desire, because that's something that we're massive on, and that's something that you can always control. And first and foremost, next week we need to show a different attitude, individually and as a group. And there'll be some other players getting opportunities, and there'll be opportunities to stake a claim, to move on and to push on, because that's what we need to do now. We need to push on. So we will kind of debrief this. We will constantly always look at the game and look at where we went wrong. We expect and we hope the players really take a look at today, and we have to have a reaction. And we're always going to go through tough moments in football, but it's about your reaction. And we as a collective group, not just the players, myself and Brad included, because we are a group, we're together, and we need to go and put performance. We need to go and put performance out for ourselves, individually, for the group, but more importantly for the fans and for the football club.
Cheers, guys.